everybody. Something a little bit different. Just wanted to give you a little bit more information from us at the Huddle Breakdown of some of the things you can expect moving forward. You may have seen some tweets online and some other bits and pieces about some services we are going to be offering as the season progresses in the form of paid subscription. We're going to go through in the next 5 minutes or so what that's going to look like, what you can expect in terms of pricing and what's on offer, and a little bit about why we're going down that route. Alan, I'll come to you first. What's the kind of motivation that everybody can expect from us in terms of why this service is coming about?
It's pure capitalist greed.
Yeah.
No, it's listen. I've been writing Celtic by Numbers blog for kind of 8 years now. We've been doing the Huddle Breakdown for around 4 years, and all of that is been kind of free to air content, which has been great. I've learned a lot. Hopefully, the products, what we've offered, the insights, and what have you, have developed and improved over time. If I look at the data that I'd collect from when I started, 10 seasons ago, it's an absolute gear shift, several gear shifts really in terms of the depth of the data and the value of the data, I think, as well. And certainly from the point of view of the podcast, when Dear Enda was with us, the three of us, it was because of schedules and work and people's personal commitments. It was very much we just kind of did one when we could, really. It was very much like that. With Enda moving on and James and I's situations being what they are now personally, it really gave us an opportunity not just to become a little bit more, I suppose, scheduled and a bit more regular, really, in terms of what we're producing, but also to be able to produce more, but also to start to bring together the idea of bringing together the written stuff, the podcast stuff, into one single channel. Now, that really, I think, is a powerful offering, and James will take you through exactly what that means in terms of content. But it also means that there's really much more additional cost involved in that in terms of, running a website, production values. Hopefully you'll have seen on the podcast especially have risen. We've got a dedicated producer in the background, Andy, that does a lot of great work that goes on unseen by you, but nevertheless is the reason that why we're able to up the cadence and produce more stuff. So all of that comes with more time, more outgoings and what have you. So that, and the fact that, listen, let's be bold about this. I think the content's worth it. I think the written content, the podcast content, the feedback that we get, we've got an incredibly loyal set of followers, which is incredible to me, given how niche I think we are. But the feedback is generally very positive in terms of the quality of what is produced. So don't feel any sort of imposter syndrome about charging people for consuming all that content, especially now as we're bringing it together, producing more, and hopefully to a higher quality. So that's kind of the rationale for it. As I say, it will be a subscription model. There will be different levels to that. We're kind of driven by the platform that we've chosen, which is Substack. So they have a subscription module, obviously. James will talk to you a little bit more about that. We're kind of driven by that in terms of, there'll be a monthly offering, an annual offering, and a founder member offering. But importantly as well, what was very important for us was to keep some of the key content to be free to air for everybody. So the Tuesday, we record it on a Tuesday, the Wednesday podcast that goes out with James, Laura, and myself, as we see today, that will always be free to air, right, for everybody. So I want to make that clear. And then probably the most popular written content is the week by week or every game week, the Yorkshire Whistler does a review of the big calls in the SPFL. So that article will continue to be free to air as well. But to give you some more detail on what's in each of the sort of tiers and a little bit more about the sort of pricing and what you need to do about that, I'll hand over to James.
Well, I just want to summarize a little bit about the time commitment, particularly Alan has put into this endeavor. I don't think our audience appreciates the commitment that Alan, as a true maniac, has put in over the years in his proprietary data collection, which is about 6 hours per game. So if you think about that through just the practical reality, that's above and beyond actually doing any analysis or writing or the content creation, all that stuff. So as I've joked with him, he's been nuts to do it, but I'm just too lazy. I enjoy my nice quick look at Y-Scout or when I had access StatsBomb. But what that also does is I've joked with Alan. He has a brain that no one else on Earth has with going through this every single Celtic game for nearly a decade now in the minutia, the detail that he has. The people at Celtic don't even do that. They're not even this crazy. So having access to what he has seen through all these years and get that wisdom and above and beyond the data. He started out putting out the stat pack, and that's part of what the product offering is behind the new paywall will be. This data that he's collected all these years, you get a little snippets of the analysis, but more direct information for the true spreadsheet shaggers in our audience that have some interest in the details. You can get access to his stat packs. I just want to touch upon that because, again, the amount of time that's put into this is truly remarkable, particularly from Alan. From a product offering perspective, Alan mentioned what's going to stay the same. I also want to just clarify that by signing up at the Substack to get those free items, the other big priority that we wanted over our content is ownership of it. That's what Substack affords. With what's been going on with Twitter, with change in ownership over the last couple of years, the censorship that goes on at YouTube and some of these other platforms. Again, we're not talking about anything crazy, but you lose control when you go into these big corporate platform settings, and when you go straight to the Substack, even for the Wednesday show that's going to remain free, it's going to be ad free. So that's our commitment, is basically you come, you're going to have to give us our email. We're not going to abuse that. We're not going to bombard you with anything other than links to consume the free content that you're entitled to. But you also get that ad free. So you're not getting bombarded with YouTube ads and that kind of thing. So I think that's another important part to clarify. The other thing is that we're looking to build a community. Alan's talked about this on prior shows. It's really important to us to have a place for people that are like-minded to kind of talk about this stuff. And one of the primary things that's going to be involved with the new offering that we've started is the chat room that we're using through games and even to discuss other topics, articles. We're going to be building out the type of guests that we have. I think people that have seen with the Thursday into Friday show with Martin, that were the Extra Time show, that we have opposition team analysts and supporters on. That's been going very well. Really talented people, smart people. So we're really just looking to raise the level and the quality of the content and challenge ourselves. We're having fun doing it. Hopefully everyone's enjoying it. The other parts, kind of the verticals, you're going to get Alan's stat packs for every single game. My benchmarking exercise that I do for in the transfer windows, I'm going to do at least a weekly column on top of all this. Alan's going to do at least a weekly column on top of all of this. And then as the writing becomes infectious and you just have an idea, you end up just spewing out more content. But those are kind of the baseline. And then we're going to have some specials along the way. We're going to be recording one on Thursday that we'll be launching next week that we think will be really interesting and in the vein of what we're looking to do. Alan's working on revisiting the 67 final, and we're going to do a special on that through the lens like we do a contemporary game, looking at the statistical breakdown and reviewing that game like it were just played, that kind of thing. So the other thing we want is audience feedback. We want to have this interactive with people that are engaging with us for ideas and to help us improve, because we're having fun doing it, and we want the people that are consuming the content to have a role in crafting it. So, yep. And the last thing I'll say is, and this was Andy requiring this, this is my obligation to Andy, the guy who's making all this happen behind the scenes, is when you are getting this as a podcast, we're going to have an RSS feed. There will be an email that goes out for that. And if you're not aware of this, you haven't used RSS feeds before, if you subscribe to a paid for podcast, it's basically like a URL line that you clip copy and paste into your podcast catcher. So whether it's Apple iTunes or Spotify or Podbean or any other podcast application that you use to consume your audio content, the RSS feed will allow you to. It's very easy. Like, it's idiot proof. I've done it before, so if I can do it, anyone can do it. Substack makes it very easy. So that's my piece.
Excellent. So I think James and Alan have summarised it well there, but they have also shared on their social media platforms some links to some more information if you want to read through it and to see what's available. Like we said, don't panic, everybody. I'm not disappearing behind the paywall. You will still got all my ramblings for free, but all the good stuff you might have to give a little bit of money if it's something that you feel able to do. We really appreciate the support we get from everybody who watches and listens already. If you feel in a position to be able to support that financially, I'm sure I speak on behalf of James and Alan and everybody who's worked on Huddle Breakdown, saying we'll appreciate that even more. So thank you very much, everybody, for listening, and we'll see you on the next show.